Hello everyone! Today what I want to do is upgrade some of our machinery so we have more automated processes. But the way I'm going to do that in is going to be a little different from how I usually do it. So normally I would make a list of things we need and then we just go out and do it. However, for today I want to combine it with the objectives. So for example, we need to build a area fertilizer. If we're going to need items in order to build that, I want to have the system automate every single component before we actually construct it. So in this case, for the ground fertilizer and treehouse, we would need to automate organics still. We don't need that at the moment, so problem for another day, I suppose. However, I was looking at it. We don't have the area fertilizer unlocked yet. In order to do that, we're going to need to find a sulfur ore. And looking on the map, there is some down here. So let's go there. We ran into a first bottleneck. I wanted to make some oxygen capsules. We need quartz for that. Luckily though, this should not be a mega problem. I think I'm just going to do it the lazy way. Break this line and we're going to split that. Which requires circuit boards. Which means that is a process we need to automate as well now. So let's see, what does that cost? Plates as well as silica. Which should be easy enough, right? Maybe not with how I did it though. We're gonna come back to this at some point to fix it all up, and I'm gonna be like, the fuck did I do back then? Because it's such a mess. Ooh, thinking about it, actually. Oh no, we need assemblers. And that's gonna require a lot more components. Alright, well, we're going to have to craft these manually for the time being, because, well, for one, we need computers. Actually, we need everything that's made with the assemblers, we have to make in here. Alright, let's see. We need circuit boards. And then we need it later for the computers as well. I'm gonna have it split off here. And then one can just go in the warehouse. You know, it may look like a mess right now, but just think of the episode where we will actually fix it all up. It will look so cool. Alright, the circuit boards are being constructed. Nice. Let's see what else we needed for the computer. The cables. That's no big deal either. We have that around here as well. You know, I might just go for world's ugliest base right here. Alright, set this one for computers. And then we're going to need another warehouse. Alright, but that was just but one part. We also need the iron beams and rotors. Iron beams is pretty simple. It's literally just iron components. The rotors also require cables, and I think we're stretching this copper vein a bit thin. So what I'm thinking is, I'm gonna grab this iron node to create the beams, and then take this copper node in order to create the rotors. Rubber we can kind of make anywhere, so that one isn't a big problem. Alright, so let's see, what we're going to need is 2 part producers, and we're going to need the iron beams for that. Which hopefully means we actually have everything for... Yes, okay, great. We are creating everything for the assembly bench. There we go, 2 part producers, 1 for rods, 1 for plates. Hook these both up to the assembling machine. Make the beams. And let's see, where's this copper node at? Is that it over there? I gotta say, it's pretty damn far out. Are the cables pretty simple? Have them go from a forge to a part producer. Right, this is the part where we also need organics. Alright, because rubber is rather slow, what I'll do, I'll add 2 of these to it. Split off 1 of the organics straight into that machine. Make 2 rubber at once. Yeah, 1 greenhouse, it will split off into 2 different conveyors. That way it will create organics, and then the excess can go straight to the warehouse. And there we go. All this just because we wanted oxygen bottles. Right, let's go back to the base. Oxygen bottles and food is something I'm not going to auto-produce, just because we don't need a ton of it. And also, it would be kind of annoying, especially if you go all over the planet, because then we would have to come back to a central point all the time. You know, up to this point, I don't understand why you can make food, like canned food and jarred food, or potted food, I guess. When the food box is just so much better, and it only costs 2 organic more. Alright, I think we have enough supplies. I head to the sulfur deposit. Remember, that is what we were trying to get to. You know, now that I think about it, we created the oxygen bottles Well, we didn't even need them a second ago because I just built the shelter anyway. And we're going to have to do that here anyway. Because look how hot it's getting. We're definitely going to need a shelter. Oh, fuck, it's extreme temperature here. Okay, well, that's gonna make things a little more complicated then. Good thing we made those oxygen bottles then. There we go. We have a refiner. We can make more stuff with that. Not gonna care about that right now. Everything should go into the warehouse. Oh, we look on power here. Not too great. Swap a couple of these around. I doubt it's gonna do too much, but hopefully it'll cool down the area a bit. But hey, we got our sulfur. Let's hope we don't have to do anything with it for a sec. Up until the point where we actually can make a cooling pack. I think that's going to be very useful on this planet. But alright, now that we can make that... Ah, damn filters. Filters required sulfur, didn't it? Yep. Let's stock up on supplies then. Okay, even though it regulated all the heat, it's still hot as heck out here. But I wonder if it's cooled down enough for... Oh yeah, it has. Okay, sweet. Which means we can actually just do everything from inside the shelter. Alright, great. So we needed plates. Alright, there we go. That should now be creating filters. Alright, now that we can place a area fertilizer down, I am looking at where I should put it. Because it's kind of full around here already. Alright, I think I'm going to put it back here. There's a nice open area. It needs some water. It needs some organics. We need a tree house. Wow, only 50% water, eh? Okay, we need 2 of these then. I guess water isn't as abundant here. Of course, due to all the heat. There we go, it should work fine now, right? Yes. Okay, good. I don't get why this says 2,000 square meters when you only have to get 100 or 1,000. But hey, I guess that's good for us, because we technically need less. Now, I'm not sure how well this is gonna go. Usually 1 is enough. However, due to the high temperature, we might need more. Because honestly, this machine here isn't doing a whole lot either, just due to the high underground temperature. Okay, it has stopped. But yeah, definitely not enough. We need to build more. Alright, second one is in place. And there it goes, back up again. Alright, ground fertilization seems complex on this planet. To develop new solutions, build a research base in a hot area, using a reinforced compartment with 5 data centers. And that is also part of our lava problem. Alright, what are we gonna need for these things? Because it's not gonna be cheap, that's for sure. Oh my god. Basalt concrete, steel alloy, insulated layers. I guess that's it. Alright, let's see what that's gonna cost us. Nothing we can make here, interestingly enough. Probably means it wasn't all made in here, was it? None of it is made in here. Okay. None of it's made in here either. I guess we don't have the recipes unlocked yet. So we're unlocking a bunch of other things, probably because I put down the refiner. Unknown building ruins. Something we can craft? I don't see it in my building menu. Okay. Whatever you want, game. So we got the planet analyzer and go to next objective. Yeah, gold ore is needed to get the insulated layers. Of course, basalt's needed for the basalt concrete. That's not a big problem, though. Steel alloy. We needed the alloy maker for that. We don't have that. And I don't see it here either. Gold is pretty damn far away, so we should probably make a battery. Refined cobalt. Okay. Have any cobalt around? Yes. Let's work on the basalt and I guess refined cobalt for now. Basalt should be pretty damn easy. I think I saw some laying about over here. I think that rock over there is basalt. Indeed it is. And the thing that's pretty neat is if we make basalt concrete, that's also what we require for warehouse tier 2. And if we build up to 5 of those, our inventory stack size increases. And I may as well split it as well. We have regular concrete, or basalt. There we go, that's basalt concrete dealt with. Let's head towards the cobalt that's up there. Alright, again, similarly, gonna have this split off. Because we are eventually going to require the raw version anyway. Alright, sweet, we're creating the refined cobalt. Alright, now we can make a couple batteries. And again, I'm not gonna automate these, because we don't need that many. We only need these 2. Right, now we need to go to the gold, which is over there. Should be somewhere around here anyway. Oh, I can see it. Oh, it is such an unfortunate spot. Oh, okay. It's not real lava. Not real lava. Alright, question 1. Can we make a compartment? We can. So now, we need to somehow put a drill on this. First, I need to figure the heck out where these insulation layers were made. In here... Was it just in a regular power producer? Just that simple? Oh, hell yeah. I think technically we can make wires here now too, but we need something else for that. We need rubber. Yeah, ain't that bad actually to get. You know what, I'm gonna change this out. We're gonna be somewhat smart and not super lazy with this one. It's mainly because wires probably gonna be something we need soon as well. And like getting rubber isn't that big of a problem either, so... There we go, that should all be good now. Make a tier 2 warehouse. There we go, everything should be working fine. How's power doing here? Perfect. Where the hell did I dump my spaceship? I do not see it anywhere around here. That is kind of odd. Oh no, never mind, I see it over there. Would you look at that, a ruby deposit. I don't think we can mine that with this, can we? No, we need a more powerful tool for that. I also spotted some phosphorus. Phosphorite. Don't remember what we needed this for. I'm gonna add it into the system already anyway. I'll admit, this terrain sucks on this planet. Like, I absolutely hate traversing it. Alright, that's 2 out of the 3 things done. The material analyzer. That's not something I want to look at right now. Sensor array and microscopes. However, that might be the thing we require in order to get to the steel alloy. Make the microscope. We don't actually need a lot of these. Sensor arrays we do. Gold wiring as well as antenna. Need copper, iron, and gold. So we need copper, iron, and gold right next to each other. Well, that's certainly not that area. You would have to go out and see where we can find that. However, annoyingly, we would need to have antennas for that. There are rules, I suppose. We would need to create those. Anywhere there's just iron and copper right next to each other? I guess there, and that's where I want to go anyway. Alright, it says extreme heats. Yeah, that's definitely extreme, alright. Place a bunch of these down. Alright, there we go. It's cold enough. So an antenna is going to cost us rods as well as plates. And again, let's place a tier 2 warehouse down here. Just for the sweet inventory stack size increase. Alright, antenna can now be auto-crafted. Let's see, what else can we find around here? There's gold over there. Really? That didn't really show us much more? Just that? Well, let's just place another one here and hope that the radar catches something else. Looking at it as well, this planet isn't really that large compared to some of the other ones. There we go, that's a perfect spot right there for the solar or sensor arrays. Ooh, we also have some amethyst here. Right, as before, we're going to need antennas. It is kind of the inconvenient way of not, like, planning out what you have to do. I was kind of hoping that in a way this would be faster, because we just do it as we need it. But, this is why you plan stuff, I guess. So much easier, man. And then technically, we would still need to make microscopes as well. The question is, do I really want to do that? Because I don't think we need a ton of them, do we? And also, it requires rubber belts, which I guess would be fine, but computers? I don't think we need a ton of them, so I think we may as well skip that part. Of course, what we can't skip is connecting this to the warehouse. Alright, it's gonna go very slow, but it's gonna create those. I think what we can do really quick is map out some of the areas. We just place down a quick scanner. Oh, yeah, right. It's all toxic here, isn't it? We have to hurry up on this one. High levels of radiation. Let's get the heck out of here. Actually, there's a decent amount of gold there. Alright, that seems to be the entire planet, except for the volcano. I'm not sure if we can get close enough to that. I guess we'll see. God, the lava's actually flowing here. Oh, we're automatically being turned around. Okay. Got it. We are not allowed to go there. I'm gonna craft one controller. Again, an item we don't need often, so I'm not gonna bother auto-crafting it. But I would like to get the hanger, and then the recall. This is also where we can charge the ship, or the battery. Alright, let's analyze sulfur. Interesting how they're all question marks now. They didn't used to be. High capacity O2 tank, a steamroller. I don't think we unlocked anything interesting there. Graphite or coal, which is gonna have to be graphite because we can't seem to be making trees on this planet. I don't know where graphite would be though. I think in the other planets where it spawns is in cold areas. I guess so did amethyst, and we have that here too. Anyway, it's kind of to say that I have no idea. Alright, graphite has been scanned that way. It looks pretty trippy though. Is this the graphene? Was it placed on a large ore deposit? Well, isn't this though? Do I have to mine it out? I think this one might be a bit broken. Yeah, this one is going to be a bit tougher to find. Actually, never mind. You can see it on the map now. Alright, there's some patches up on the mountains there. It says there's a... Oh, it's these large rocks. I thought these were just regular stones. But alright, good. That means that graphene should be in a sec. There we go. We can analyze it. And we elect the carbon refiner. Oh, on the cooling module. Hell yeah. We also unlocked tier 2 conveyors. We need carbon fiber for that. We need some advanced filters for the cooling systems, which I think was part of the carbon refiner too. Let's place it down because that should unlock a bunch of recipes. It does. These are all very easy to set up. I'll do that off camera. Kind of a boring task as well, but it's a very quick one. And there we go. If we analyze the gold, we can get the alloy forge. That's what we're going to need for steel alloy. We never set up a proper gold one. Damn it. Of course we didn't. Alright, there's a lonely gold one up on that island over there. I'm just gonna hook that up to, well, a smelter, and then as well to a warehouse. Alright, gold is being deposited now. Now that I'm looking at it, they also changed it. Some of these now require more than just one item. Like gold ore here requires both the ingots as well as the raw ore. You used to be able to choose. Alright, there we go. Analyzing gold ore. And we now have the alloy forge. As well as a bunch of vehicle base building things. Osmium and osmium ingots is up next. We'll do that later. Plated connectors, really. Requires gold ingots as well as copper. That can easily be done in this spot right here. Yeah, I think for the next episode, I'm just gonna go back to how I used to do all this construction work, which was just to make a list and make it a lot more centralized as well. Luckily, plated connectors are not the worst thing. It's literally just copper as well as gold ingots. You know, I was planning on doing this a little later, but osmium is right here, so we may as well put that into storage too. Alright, the plated connectors are in. Now we can look at what we need. Iron as well as graphene, but that isn't too bad. Although they're not really in ideal spots here. I'm gonna see on the other side of the lava lake if there's something around here, because there's a bunch of iron nodes. It is not finding it here, that's not good. I mean, it's only on this section, maybe? Now look at that. Right in front of us, there should be one. Alright, needs the raw graphene, and then some iron ingots. I will admit, it is kind of weird how suspiciously easy this recipe is suddenly. It's the same with the regular carbon stuff as well. I find those kind of odd. I do think this thing required kind of a lot of water. That it did. Even at max capacity, which would be 150, once we have enough power, it's only half the damn speed. However, for now this is fine. We will unlock tier 2 water extractors, I think in the next stage anyway. So we can speed that up. And with that, reinforced compartments are now on the menu, as well as the data centers we need. It actually went pretty quickly, like episode-wise anyway. Because I'm pretty sure getting reinforced compartments usually takes us a couple episodes, but there's nothing really much to do on this planet. So, I guess we just kind of speed along here. Also, the planet is very small compared to normal places. Ooh, already unlocked conveyor tier 3. And a minor version too, that's pretty big. That's gonna require a lot of components we are not making yet. This requires osmium alloy. How difficult was that to create? Osmium and gold? That doesn't sound too bad. I don't think they're the best anymore. I think you had tier 4 these days. But I don't remember what that took. I think it was like gold plates or something like that. Well, gold alloy, maybe. We just unlocked that as well. Let's see what that's gonna cost. Phosphorus and ore. That's actually not too bad. Phosphorus and gold ore? Let's see. Because yeah, there's like a ton of phosphorus in this area. But there might be some around this node. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. And then next up is ruby. Probably amethyst and diamond, maybe? Ruby we have found. Now that we actually have access to a tier 2 miner, we can mine that. If we create all of these, I think they're kind of like painfully annoying. One, yeah, iron beams and osmium alloy, gears and ingots. It's just a lot of iron components combined with osmium, basically. Except for hydraulic pistons. It requires belts. However, I think I'm going to be leaving it off over here. We did a lot of progress today. I'm quite surprised. Even though we did it kind of inefficient, we've done a lot. Machines can already kind of be improved now that we have access to faster conveyors. I think I'm going to wait until the tier 4 conveyors to like properly improve the systems. And from what someone said in the comments of one of the previous episodes, we should actually be able to use like the higher assembly machines in order to create the base components, because they should do it faster, which would be kind of interesting. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one, where we will create reinforced compartments and see what we can do about the hot lava zone. See you guys then. Bye everyone.